a.m. Time for CBX Business News. The Business News Headlines is brought to you by QMX Wealth Management, making more possible.
Tax clashes, financing pressures in the Caribbean, and a $330 billion tech buyback. Hello, and welcome to CBX Business News for Wednesday, August 27, 2025. I am Rochelle Moncrief. Thanks for joining us. Coming up in the newscast, locally, a tax showdown. The PNP's 3.5 million threshold promise faces fierce pushback from the JLP. On the regional front, the Caribbean puts sovereign risk at the top of its agenda, explores new financing solutions. And over on the global stage, TikTok owner ByteDance announces a massive $330 billion employee buyback. Stay tuned as we unpack these stories and more right after the break.
Me grew up and see my granny and save her money under her mattress.
Exactly.
Okay.
Your grandmother house never burned down?
No, how you reached that, so? That was a one-off thing.
That could have happened to anybody. That's why you must put your money in a financial institution and protect it.
What if the bank crash?
Well, that's where JDIC comes in.
What you mean?
JDIC is a financial safety net which provides coverage for your money in case your financial institution fails.
Explain that to me.
Alright, because of the JDIC deposit insurance scheme, once you put your money into a financial institution like a bank or building society, you can get coverage of up to a maximum of $1.2 million per deposit or per financial institution if it should fail. And for even more information, you can visit their new website at www.jdic.org, and you can follow the social media platforms for the latest information.
JDIC, protecting deposits for you and me.
Let's all get fit. This summer set drip. Hip dips and split. Power in the mind, let's get healthy with it. Sometimes your body's so hard, but your body wants it. And then your head is so home, and it's so like this. So we gotta go 1, 2, 3. One more now. 1, 2, 3. Let's go. One more now. 1, 2, 3. One more now. 1, 2, 3, go.
Mikey, is what sweet you saw?
Yeah, dear babes. Where's the catty? Me and you go party tonight.
Party? You secure your future yet? Careless.
Did you know that over time the stock market has provided a reliably high return on investments? Be sure to contact a licensed stockbroker for more information on this exciting investment opportunity.
Taking care of business, Mikey?
Yeah, catty. I'm securing my future. Want to come look over my stock portfolio?
The Jamaica Stock Exchange, providing a fair, efficient, and transparent stock market.
We're here to open a savings account for my son John. I really want him to start saving and managing his own money.
And I need for Save to visit my father in New York.
Okay, based on what you said and our risk assessment, he will qualify for simplified customer due diligence requirements. I'll need your ID, proof of income, TRN, and John's ID as well.
Okay, here you go.
Opening an account is easier than you think using Simplified Customer Due Diligence Requirements, also called CDD.
News is brought to you by Derriman Trading, better from the start. Development Bank of Jamaica, facilitating economic growth and development. Caribbean Flavors and Fragrances, tease the senses. And Pulse Investments.
Welcome back to CBX Business News. We begin this evening with an economic showdown between the PNP and the JLP over taxes. The opposition People's National Party PNP is raising the economic stakes with a pledge that could put billions back into its workers' pockets, but the governing Jamaica Labour Party JLP insists the opposition's plans are nothing more than political trickery. The PNP says it will lift the personal income tax threshold to $3.5 million in April 2026, sparing more Jamaicans from paying taxes on their wages. Making his contribution to the general elections economic debate staged by Jamaica's Election Commission on Tuesday, PNP representative and opposition spokesman on Finance and the Public Service, Julian Robinson, argues this increase can be funded by stronger revenue flows estimated at $140 billion over 3 years.
This will be funded from revenue growth, which currently, based on the 1% growth, is projected to generate an additional revenue of $140 billion over a 3-year period. Additionally, we expect within the envelope that exists in the budget has 4 main components. You have debt servicing, you have salaries and wages, you have the capital budget, and then you have the programmatic budget. As a political party, we would have our own priorities, and we will look at the programmatic budget and make adjustments there.
The price tag, $55 billion a year.
Cost of the increase in the threshold would be $55 billion. Now, no political party implements every single thing in 1 year. So we are going to ensure that the implementation is done, which protects the fiscal sacrifices that have been made and will ensure that the adjustments are consistent with the budget.
That was PNP representative and opposition spokesman on Finance and the Public Service, Julian Robinson. But the JLP has dismissed the plan as a fiscal illusion. JLP representative and Minister of Finance and the Public Service, Favour Williams, warns that Jamaica's budget cannot stretch that far without a fiscal squeeze.
Lies, lies, lies. It cannot be done without imposing new taxes on the backs of Jamaicans. Your 3.5 is the biggest political scam since the history of Jamaica. It cannot be done. You were the people who said when we introduced the 1.5 that it couldn't be done. It would wreck the budget. How do you get from 1.5 to 3.5? It's 3.5 now, right? It used to be 2.3, 3.2, all over the place. Can't be done.
That was JLP representative and Minister of Finance and the Public Service, Favour Williams. Jamaica has strengthened its credibility on the international business stage with the accreditation of 3 locally based laboratories under the ISO IEC 17025 international standard. The Department of Government Chemist Pharmaceutical Laboratory, China Harbour Engineering Company's Czech Laboratory, and Petrojam's Quality Assurance Laboratory all received accreditation from the Jamaica National Agency of Accreditation, JANAC, at the agency's CEO Breakfast and Awards ceremony in Kingston. Speaking at the event on Tuesday, Industry and Commerce Minister Senator Aubin Hill says that this achievement demonstrates that Jamaica's pharmaceuticals, construction, and energy sectors now meet the highest global testing standards.
Each of these achievements sends a powerful message. In pharmaceuticals, Department of Government Chemists accreditation means our citizens and global partners can trust the safety and quality of medicines coming from or are being sold in Jamaica. In construction and infrastructure, CHEC's laboratory accreditation means the roads, bridges, and buildings that give structure and crucial to the powering of our economy are tested reliably and built to last. In petroleum and energy, Petrojam's accreditation means our fuels meet rigorous global standards, reinforcing energy security and trade competitiveness.
Industry and Commerce Minister Senator Aubin Hill. And there's a setback for small traders and exporters as the Jamaica Post has announced the suspension of all outbound parcel and packet shipments to the United States effective August 28, 2025. The development follows the issuance of Executive Order 14324 by Washington, which suspends duty-free de minimis treatment for imports from all countries starting August 29, 2025. In a press release on Tuesday, Jamaica Post confirmed it received official notice of the change that same day and set August 26 as the last date for customer to mail parcels and packets containing merchandise bound for the U.S. The suspension is expected to affect Jamaican exporters, online retailers, and small businesses that depend on direct-to-consumer shipments to the U.S., Jamaica's largest trading partner. The de minimis exemption previously allowed small value goods to enter the U.S. without incurring customs duties or extensive processing. Its removal could mean higher costs, shipping delays, and increased compliance hurdles for businesses reliant on e-commerce and cross-border trade. Jamaica Post says it is actively engaging partners to find solutions and promised further updates. Other postal services, including standard letters and express mail, remain unaffected.
And it's time for Market Education feature, brought to you by Carrie Chris, Regional Ratings, Global Standard.
As we delve further into our election education series, today we're defining the term political ombudsman. A political ombudsman is an independent official or office that investigates and addresses complaints from the public about maladministration, unfair treatment, or abuse of power by government officials, public authorities, or political representatives. Their functions include investigating complaints of political bias or misconduct, promoting good governance and ethical political behavior, and recommending changes in policy to prevent future issues. Here in Jamaica, the Office of the Political Ombudsman plays a critical role during elections, monitoring political parties and ensuring they adhere to the Code of Conduct.
The market education feature was brought to you by CARICRIS, Regional Ratings, Global Standards.
And that's it for the local news segment. Please stay with us. The regional news is up next.
The local news is brought to you by Darryman Trading, better from the start. Development Bank of Jamaica, facilitating economic growth and development. Caribbean flavors and fragrances, tease the senses. And Pulse Investments.
Caribbean Flavors and Fragrances Limited has been a part of Jamaica's manufacturing landscape for over 20 years. By crafting unique flavors and fragrances, we have become a part of your favorite household and food items such as beverages, ice cream, household cleaners, and much more. Known throughout the Caribbean for the highest quality, we continue to innovate with strong leadership, a dedicated team with integrity. We go the extra mile for our customers. Create the next taste sensation. Contact us at 876-9235-111 or visit our website, Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn pages.
Welcome back. And now for the regional business news. Sovereign risk and fiscal sustainability will take center stage at the second Wider Caribbean Regional Risk Conference as policymakers and financial leaders across the region confront mounting economic headwinds. The event, slated for September 3 to 4 in Barbados and online, is jointly hosted by the Caribbean Development Bank, CBD, CCRIF, SPC, and CAF, Development Bank of Latin America and the Caribbean. A dedicated panel on sovereign risk and financial sustainability will bring together central banks, rating agencies, and multilateral institutions to examine solutions for debt management and new financing pathways for small island developing states, SIDS. Other sessions will look at geo-economic confrontations, shifting global trade regimes, and climate finance, with a focus on ensuring Caribbean governments maintain access to affordable capital. The conference will also spotlight the private sector's role in driving resilience, highlighting innovative risk-sharing mechanisms, blended finance models, and entrepreneurship financing as ways to bolster regional supply chains and expand access to capital for small and medium-sized enterprises. The government of St. Lucia has announced the creation of a creative economic grant fund aimed at fueling entrepreneurship in the island's vibrant cultural industries. Speaking at a pre-cabinet press briefing on Tuesday, Prime Minister Philip J. Peer says this initiative will provide direct financial support to young people, groups, and micro-enterprises across a wide range of creative fields.
We're going to have for all creatives what we call a creative economy grant fund that will be administered through the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Industries. The fund is a direct investment in our young people. It's open to young adults 16 years and over, as well as groups and micro enterprises across all creative fields: music, film, dance, theater, craft, design, fashion, and literary arts.
Prime Minister Peer says the fund offers grants of up to $10,000 to support training, marketing, production, and promotion.
You can get up to $5,000 for training, for marketing, or the launching of new products. Or you can get up to $10,000 for production, equipment, and promotion, up to $10,000. Applications will close on October 30th. And they have to be submitted directly to the Ministry of Creative Industries, and the email address is stluciacreatives@gmail.com.
Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Philip J. Peer. Trinidad and Tobago is positioning itself as Grenada's key partner in energy following 2 days of talks between Energy Minister Dr. Rudal Munilal and Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell. The meetings held August 23 to 24 followed a directive from Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Bisesa for closer cooperation. Mitchell, who oversees Grenada's energy portfolio, says collaboration with TNT would allow skills and technology transfer as Grenada begins assessing its hydrocarbon resources. Munilal pointed to TNT's robust infrastructure and long track record in oil and gas, positioning the country as a partner of choice for regional energy development. The talks build on a 2012 Memorandum of Understanding and could open new contracts for TNT service companies while giving Grenada faster access to revenue opportunities. It's now time for news from the Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 20 securities, of which 2 advanced, 12 declined, and 6 traded firm. The winners are Grace Kennedy Limited and Prestige Holdings, while leading the losers are Unilever Caribbean, One Caribbean Media, Guardian Holdings, and Trinidad and Tobago NGL. Trading activity resulted in the following movements. The All TNT Index declined by 18.27 points to close at 1,442.19. The Composite Index declined by 9.92 points to close at 1,002.10. The Cross-Listed Index declined by 0.14 points to close at 74.38. The SME Index remained at 96.40. And we take a short break, but please do stay with us. The international news segment is up next.
I'm trading stocks to achieve my financial goals.
I'm also trading stocks to achieve my financial goals.
Start a conversation with the Jamaica Stock Exchange.
Check jamstockx.com for information and a list of registered stockbrokers. You can also call the Jamaica Stock Exchange at 876-967-3271 for information on how to begin. I am achieving my financial goals.
I'm achieving my financial goals.
Welcome back. In international news, the Toronto Stock Exchange climbed modestly today, lifted by a powerful rally in Canada's largest lender. The S&P TSX Composite gained just over 0.2% to trade above the 28,350 mark, with Royal Bank of Canada leading the advance. RBC's shares surged more than 4.5% after the bank reported stronger than expected quarterly results. Provisions for credit losses came in at 881 million Canadian dollars, far below the $1.07 billion forecast by analysts. Adjusted earnings also impressed at $3.84 per share. Stronger results in wealth management and capital markets freed up capital and bolstered investor appetite for bank stocks. Analysts say the figures underscore resilience in the banking sector, even in the face of global economic uncertainty. But the rally was tempered. National Bank of Canada saw its stock plunge more than 4%. After revenue in its capital markets division missed expectations, sparking questions about its growth outlook. From Canadian banks to Chinese tech, one of the world's largest startups is boosting its valuation while rewarding employees. TikTok's parent company ByteDance is preparing to launch a new employee share buyback that will value the Chinese tech giant at more than $330 billion, according to sources who spoke with Reuters. The company plans to repurchase stock at $200.41 per share, a 5.5% increase from its last buyback 6 months ago, which valued the firm at about $315 billion. The program is expected to launch this autumn. The higher valuation reflects a surging revenue. ByteDance's second quarter sales jumped 25% year on year to about $48 billion, outpacing Meta, the owner of Facebook and Instagram, which reported $42.3 billion in the same period. The growth cements ByteDance as the world's largest social media company by revenue. Analysts point to strong digital advertising demand in both TikTok and Douyin, its Chinese counterpart, as key drivers. The Beijing-based firm conducts biannual buybacks to give employees liquidity, a common practice among late-stage tech firms. But unlike many of its peers, including SpaceX and OpenAI, ByteDance uses its own balance sheet rather than external investors, a sign of robust margins and financial flexibility. Meanwhile, in the United States, Amazon is reshaping its grocery operations with a major overhaul of pay and benefits. Amazon is extending its corporate pay structure and benefits to employees at its Whole Foods supermarket chain, part of a broader effort to integrate its grocery operations. The company says the changes will be complete by December 2026, bringing Whole Foods corporate staff in line with Amazon's broader workforce on salary scales, retirement plans, and healthcare benefits. Until then, employees will retain their in-store discounts while also receiving a 10% discount on Amazon merchandise and access to the company's employee portal for deals on phone plans, insurance, and entertainment. An Amazon spokesperson says the shift will create one consistent experience across teams and improve collaboration between Whole Foods, Amazon Fresh, and Amazon Go stores. The move comes as Amazon sharpens its grocery strategy, pledging $4 billion to expand its U.S. delivery network by 2026, with a focus on small towns and rural areas. And in housing news, higher borrowing costs continue to weigh on mortgage demand in the U.S. Mortgage applications in the United States fell for the second straight week in August. According to the Mortgage Bankers Association, applications dropped 0.5% in the week ending August 23rd, following a 1.4% decline the previous week. The small pullback came as the average 30-year fixed mortgage rate inched higher by 1 basis point, reflecting firmer treasury yields and pro-inflationary data. Refinancing activity fell 3.5%, offsetting a 2.2% rise in purchase applications for new homes. Analysts say the figure highlights the affordability challenge in housing, with elevated borrowing costs, discouraging refinancing and slowing overall demand. And that's it for the international segment of the newscast. The news recap is coming up on the other side of the break.
savings account for my son John. I really want him to start saving and managing his own money.
And I need for Safe to visit my father in New York.
Okay, based on what you said and our risk assessment, he will qualify for simplified customer due diligence requirements. I'll need your ID, proof of income, TRN, and John's ID as well.
Okay, here you go.
Opening an account is easier than you think using simplified customer due diligence requirements, also called CDD.
And now to recap our top stories. In the local news, a tax showdown. PNP's $3.5 million threshold promise faces JLP fire. Regionally, Caribbean eyes financing solutions as a sovereign risk tops regional risk agenda. And internationally, TikTok owner ByteDance launches $330 billion employee buyback. Those were the stories making today's CBX Evening News. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Rochelle Moncrief. Thanks for watching CBX, your region, your business, your source.
Hi, this is Brittany from Daniel's Coffee Barrel. Just wanted to wish CBX a very happy anniversary from Dania and the team.